Small farming families contribute towards the development of Fiji's agricultural industry, and according to the Ministry of Agriculture, these small-scale farmers make up 26% of Fiji's population, who depend on their farms to provide for their daily source of food and income. One of the strategies of this government is to provide assistance to help them maintain their needs. This week, Nation's Business highlights a special visit to these communities in the Central Division, organized by the Ministry of Information, which looks at how these small farming families are contributing to the community and economy as a whole. These rural development programs are targeted at raising the income generation capacity of small marginal farmers, women, and agricultural laborers. It also aims to create an environment in order for rural dwellers to fully utilize their resources and contribute effectively towards the economic growth of the country. One such project is the Vanilla Spices of Fiji, located in Dumba, which exports about 80% of vanilla to Australia and New Zealand. Meet farm manager George Hazelman as he talks about producing the world's most sought-after spice, vanilla. Through financial assistance of $4,500, Vanilla Spices of Fiji was able to upgrade their vanilla extraction room to produce quality vanilla products. As we move to the interior of Central Division, we meet the mothers and youths of Wainimakutu village in the Namosi province. This village is famous for its gift paper factory, which supplies scented paper to Pure Fiji and has become a viable source of employment for the village. Both youths and women are employed in the manufacturing process, providing sustainable income for their families.
Nito pepa ndo ndindu na wili pepa ndo koena vi madao. Sa utingo erona bula na kena sa mai tumbu ne to soni pepa. Lambak sa utikit ndo ko tikni to pepa ndo ndona ndola tiko ndona shit. Medo mena ngona ngosa mai tumbu na ndona ndola kina ndona ndola rosanga bul kalima na sende. Mena vi madango na wili pepa na vi madao ndo ndona ndolo nandrau ndona ndolo vito nandrau. Ia nei wili ni lawa ndo ko me ndona madao sono ngona ndo rono ndolo badada. Koya mera me viso mitaka na marama.
The small Wainimakutu paper factory produces gift papers made out of leaves, flowers, banana stems, and voivoi. The papers, once sold, rake in more than $1,000 for the village weekly. This money is used for upcoming village projects.
Kito wata sara chumebe kito na kambani ni Pure Fiji. We mada dako chukani virto na pepa.
The project is fully operated by the Mothers Club, and its focus is on development and generating income that will support them.
Sa tiko nga na wili ni marama na lam ni koro na tiko na dona group dona wase ni marama ko mbul pepa na lumani madangor to sarangaya na letini tin na marama tiko dona wase.
It's these projects that help drive the economy through the creation of income-generating projects through the sustainable use of natural resources in rural communities.
Ang bakitini ngo nito didi chukuna mbuli pepa ngo. Kito babi nakapakalebu ni lakumena bebu kini matintu na ambaki ngo me rausarkina ndo nakalebu nito bali pepa.
With the need in ensuring that Fiji's fruit and vegetable sector is a priority, various agricultural techniques have been encouraged to increase the yield and supply of local fruits and vegetables to our local markets. Meet Mrs. Alice Stone, the owner of the hydroponic farm in Dumba.
I applied for a grant from the Ministry of Agriculture in Navua, and they were extremely supportive, and with their help I was able to construct my shed behind me and set up the pump house and all the infrastructure that I needed for the business. I felt that there was a huge need in Fiji for fresh, top quality produce and especially lettuce, which is extremely seasonal.
The target of this project is to produce and improve the volume and consistency of lettuce, herbs, tomatoes, and capsicum. For small-scale farming communities, obtaining capital is one of the major hurdles faced. Most times, labor is not an issue, and this is an area where government has stepped in to provide capital and incentives for them to progress.
I'd like to say thank you very much to the ministry. The team at Navua have been just fantastic. Their support is a very good thing. I also had the last Minister of Agriculture spend a lot of time with me and helping me to see how far I could develop the business. With the ministry's help, I was able to actually do the next phase of my project. Unfortunately as well, I lost my first roof cover in a big hurricane, Hurricane Mick I think it was. And after that I just didn't have enough to continue to grow. So it was always just staying at that one point. So with the ministry's help I was able to take that next step and go commercial rather than just being a small business owner working out of a little shed in the back and doing the best as I could for about 20 families every week. I wanted to really get it out there and do 100 or 200 families a week where I'm providing pretty much everything they need in a salad.
Mrs. Stone says capital investment is needed on infrastructure that can be assessed locally. These include facilities for greenhouse design, irrigation systems, energy-producing technology, testing units, computer systems, eco-friendly mobile machines, which are available with leading suppliers and dealers around the country. In reaching out to these families who deserve assistance the most, government has embarked on an integrated rural development project, which provides for development of roads, water supply, electricity, and other basic necessities to enable the farming communities to venture into commercial enterprise. One such development is the Vakambalea Nursery in Navua. This $42,000 project is owned by Shakil Kumar, an initiative that is in line with the Agricultural Department's aim to reduce imports by 10% and to ensure food security for all households.
At the moment, our farm is full of vegetable farming. We do eggplants, tomatoes, pumpkins, Hawaiian pawpaw, chilies, lettuce, round cabbage, Chinese cabbage, all sorts of carrots, lettuce, and all those other things.
Kumar says the nursery will help farmers contribute towards sustainable production of quality planting materials, enhancing food security and economic social well-being of the surrounding community.
We got easy access to markets which are available, like the supermarket and the Western market. We use the approach where we see the demand of the produce, which market offers us better, because Nandi is not too far away, or Lotoka, and also on the other side, Suva. We have our own transport, we can just take it to any of the market. But when it comes to helping our province, Serwa, and also including Namosi, what we try to do is that we do sell wholesale to the markets, but we keep certain amount for our people in our province. We have Saturday markets in Navua. We normally take from 30 to 35 bags of round cabbage, maybe 20 to 25 boxes of tomatoes, which we sell at a wholesale rate.
Rice farming in Navua is one of the top priorities, and assistance has been provided to the farmers of the Navua area through machinery and agricultural advice. Navua is now becoming one of Fiji's major rice-producing areas, with farmers utilizing agricultural assistance. In an effort to empower revenue generation in rural areas, government is also encouraging villagers along the coast to venture into seaweed farming. One such project involves the construction of a drying rack for the seaweed farmers in the village of Moana Ira in Vutia Rewa. This is one of the success stories of the seaweed industry, with farmers harvesting more than 8 tons of seaweed, from which 2 tons have been exported, fetching an income of $2,700.
Misandoro kanu maruta kana kena sa kome baka volle ka vikenda na toki na done vuri la vuli sa tungoi matanda na lumi itunga go na sa salu ni waitui menda mai banga takana kila patikina sa salu e le kambula e volle ka tikenda.
The project has been described by the Ministry of Fisheries as an excellent example of sustainable use of natural resources. Provincial Administrator Ravindra Narayan says seaweed farming is a lucrative agricultural business with huge potential for exports. At the same time, government continues to recognize the contribution made by women in the Vutia village in Rewa. Women of the villages are happy with their newfound success in government self-help projects that have enabled them to meet their families' needs. Let's travel to Nakorovo to see other successful community projects and talk to people who have benefited from the assistance. Over the years, Nakorovo villagers witnessed floodwaters entering their villages and damaging crops and houses, but with the construction of this seawall and floodgate, this will become a thing of the past. Traveling to Tailevu, Nations Business continues with its journey, meeting communities and looking at development projects in Daku, a village located about 15 kilometers from Nasori town. Copra, one of the main income-generating projects in the village, is now being used by the villagers. Most coconut trees were unutilized. A $4,000 grant has helped the villages build 2 dryers for production of copra. Nations Business also took time to visit the Chiefly Island of Bau, where various development projects have been carried out under government's Integrated Rural Development Program, which incorporates the whole of government machinery in supporting the development of rural and island people. The Soso Village Bakery has been operating successfully and supplies the neighboring villages. From vegetables to seaweed farming to small-scale rice farming, all of these contribute some way to the development of our nation's agricultural sector.
There's plenty potential in farming. We want to plant a lot of things like sandalwood also in the future. We have planted some.
Over the years, assistance has been provided to Satya Nand, a goat farmer of deep-water Korovo. The development of sheep, cattle, and goat farming is one of the objectives of the Ministry of Agriculture.
Farming is also like fishing sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes we manage to get good incomes. Like sometimes we manage to get thousands per week, sometimes 500. But the whole money doesn't go into our pockets. We distribute it to the laborers and our fertilizers and other needs. Still, it's a good thing.
Farmers are assisted with fencing materials, shed materials, and also with breeding stock and technical advice on good goat management. The Agricultural Ministry is working with farmers to increase production to provide for local demand and also reduce the imports. Access to communities is another major objective of the Integrated Rural Development Projects. One such example is the Venunga Crossing, up in the highland of Naitasiri, which has provided access to villages and also assists them in transporting their produce to markets. This crossing will serve up to 300 to 400 people living there. Right now, access is only by horseback, right up to Wainiavu village. The construction of the bridge and the roads will also mean villagers won't have to walk 4 kilometers to the nearest health center. Traveling to Rewa, the Nation's Business visited villagers of Lokia, who now have a new foot crossing. Provincial Administrator of Rewa, Ravindra Narayan, says $60,000 was given by government to construct the project.
It is a big relief to the village people in bringing this infrastructure back into form.
The engineers of the Fiji military forces played a major role in constructing this project. Education and training is a priority in nation building and in nurturing a well-educated society and producing responsible citizens. Here, students of Ratu Alipate Primary School in the Wainimala district in Naitasiri have benefited from provision of computers and access to internet. It is hoped that people will realize the benefits of the Integrated Rural Development Program once they utilize the resources available to them effectively.